Hello everyone and welcome to this Season 3 meta guide. We just finished Dutch Auto Championship in the Netherlands and also the qualifier in Lille has been finished while recording this. And let's see which heroes are up and down on this tier list. And we first start with, I think the boogeyman himself, and that's the Ephemas. I created an own tier for him because I think he is so insanely strong at the moment. Good against almost every other hero. I think the only weakness he has is Sigismar at the moment. We saw some recent rise of Traced as well. Hopefully we see something be done about this hero, because he has been here for a long time, and well, I think he is just a little bit too strong. Then we got Fen. Fen, I think she still has a lot of card advantage to go through, but she isn't as strong as, set 2. I think it's still, with all the card advantage, still a A-tier hero. I think she's still capable of winning tournaments, still being there with all the card advantages. With one side you can play with the new landmark. The other way you can play her is with all the 0-stat characters. So overall I think she has two really decent decks to look forward to playing into the new BGA season. Then we have Sierra. She also got some new additions, but I don't think she is strong enough, because there's also a lot of permanent removal now from Afanas and from orders, like the license withdrawal. And I think a 3 mana destroys something like the orders version is a little bit too strong. So I put her in D tier. I think with the right unique and with the right drawing of your cards, she can be okay, I guess, but I think a B tier is sufficient for her. Then we have Arjun. I don't think he is strong enough at the moment. That's why I put him in C tier. He is just a little bit weird to play, because if you have those really great anchor uniques, you're probably better off with Tasha. And if you don't have the anchor uniques and you need all those card advantage of resupplying and drawing cards, you are really weak against sabotaging effects and exhausting effects. So I think he is just not there at the moment. That's why I put it in C tier. Sigismar, the other king of the Season 2 meta, is still very good. I think the main reason we see him finishing that high in tournaments is because Afanas is the top dog, because he is very well in advantage in that matchup. He's still doing really good against all the other matchups as well, but I don't think it's that impressive as it was in the previous season. We know that Bravos has some good additions to counter him. I think Nevenka as well has some really good options now to be able to turn a win against Sigismar. So we have Traced, we have also Bazira and Tasia that can battle him quite effectively. So I think it's still a very good hero, but there are options right now, and that's why I put it below Afanas. Traced is also next to Sigismar. It's won the Lille tournament, which is a little bit surprising, but I think people have been running Traced a little bit more last few weeks. She got few additions, but very, very good additions in set 3, I think. And also after the Haven ban, people started to playing a little bit more. I think she is also a little good against Afanos matchup. She's also good against the Sigismar matchups, maybe also good against Kojo matchup, so that's why she rises a little bit to the top here. One of the heroes who got massive support with the scout abilities, with some of the landmarks abilities, is Atsari. For me, he is still a little bit of a risk hero. If you are drawing everything in the correct way, you can have absolutely success with this hero. But sometimes you draw only your high cards and it is it's rubbish, and that's why I think while he is quite fun to play and is well also in the Lille tournament people still can go 7-8 wins with him. I think he's just not reliable enough to get into the A tier for now. But he is a really still a really strong contender, but a little bit not consistent enough. Then we got Nevenka. I will place her at A tier. I think this is one of the strongest Lyra heroes at the moment. The thing with this is you got some uniques with whenever you roll a die, you have more cards that roll a die, like Daedalus is such a great addition to her deck. She can get quite aggro-y with all the guitarist and you giving her a boost. It's insane. You can also anchor things like guitarist when they come from reserve to make sure that you get the card advantage there. And I think this hero is very good against other aggro decks. I think she might be in favor of Kojo in the matchup. I think Sigismar is also less favored against the correct deck. And if you're not playing it really aggro-y, but you want more of a card advantage style, that's also possible. If you got uniques that say whenever you roll a die, you may return a card to your hand. Also, those kinds of things can be very good with Daedalus or with Magical Training, and I think she is at a good spot at the moment. Then Goreng is a little bit like Atsadi. She has great powerful tools. She isn't that oppressive in the early game, so it's not just an auto win from her. And I think she is currently one of the best. And I think she is currently at a very good place. Just not that strong that she could, stay on the top, I think. Because if I look at Sigismar, it's very easy. Maybe Trace, Nevenka, Kojo are all very strong picks at the moment, very fast. And I think Goreng is not there yet to make sure that she can effectively shut down those strategies and go into the late game a lot of the time. So that's why I put her in B tier. Kojo and Buddha, I think this is one of the best Bravos heroes at the moment. With the Buddha token, you can very easy get a 2-0 in the match, and then right from there, every other turn you get the Buddha token. So going 1-1 might not that hard. He is very explosive. Just like Sigismar, you got a token, great pick. Specifically also with some of the new cards in the set. We got a good removal with the Duel of Grit. You can effectively use that as a teamwork training. Because you have always, like the playstyle, have 2 mana characters on the board. Play it for 2 and it's just like a teamwork training. So I think he is very strong at the moment. Subhash is my second C-tier hero. I think she is not there yet. I tried some builds and the robot is not really going into... and the main things I'm missing to play this deck is some form of removal. You got hooked, but it's still a 1-1 because you're normally hooking something to the other side and then it's there. So you miss some good removal over there, and also the card advantage. I think she goes really fast down in card advantage while using her hero ability, getting that brass book into play, put something from hand in reserve and play that out. You effectively use the 2 abilities, but your card advantage is really going fast downwards, and she doesn't have the means to keep up into the long game. Harvok and Kibble. I think if you want to play Lyra with the 0 stat characters, the Nevenka is better, and maybe even Fen is better because of the naturally card advantage she creates. I think Arak is okay if you build it with the Hydra Canas or the Apotheosis. I think those 2 cards can be really great to get from the hero ability. But if you hit a Paper Herald or something, or a Martingale, then you're a little bit sad. So it's a little bit unpredictable. It's really hard to, get things off. But if you get things off, it feels great and rewarding. But I think the power level of the hero itself is not good enough at the moment. Again, we got some C-tier heroes. I tried Water a lot. My biggest problem with him is, as soon as you ever going into the arena and you don't have anything on the field, it's an auto lose. All your bureaucrats are asleep. Normally you play it with some of the bureaucrats because those gave the value you need to get into the early game. And he is really dependent on card draw, getting some card draw into your hand to make sure that you have always the right play. So you have a bureaucrat or a non-bureaucrat at the time you need it. And it's just a really harsh hero at the moment. I do see why they nerfed him, because if they didn't have nerfed him, it will be a great terror. It would be a menace to play against. So I think the nerfs were rectified, but therefore he isn't at the moment really a playable hero. Akisha I also play in the B tier. I think she can be really good at zigzagging and then taking over the game like a hostage version. But other than that, we don't see everything she can do. I think Afanos normally do better because he can give boosts. And the after you effect in the Ishmir class maybe doesn't really matter that much, because if you can play magical trainings, you can play other one cost cards, then the after you isn't per se needed. And that's why I think if you want to play some kind of control matchup, Afanos might be better. Though she can be still. Then we got Rin. It's just a little bit like Arjun. The game plans that she have, other than maybe the festival plan, is worse than having a Tasha plan. I think she can be very aggro-y, but as soon as you're winning like once or twice on the forest side, you have an overload in your reserve. And that's still the biggest problem I found. So you draw a card, get something in reserve, you get everything from the field back to the reserve, and you need to discard. And I think that is one of the biggest problems at the moment. You got the Consortionist and you got Copelia to a little bit counter this strategy of hers. But I think we just see one or two more options to make sure that the card advantage isn't lost, that she can really thrive. So I think she's almost there, but for the moment I think she is not strong enough. And then Bazira, one of my favorite heroes in the game at the moment. I think she is very good against a lot of the heroes in the A tier. And it's because the Tiny Djinn gives you some mana advantage, and the Mighty Djinn is giving you card and mana advantage over your opponent. And into the long game, as soon as you're just a little bit further, you can play one or two cards more than your opponent every turn, and it's very, very strong at that moment. You have the powers to keep maybe a lead from day one, also against the Sigismund, the Kojo. If you are starting first against the Kojo, you still can 2-0 them, because you can give the boosts away. It's profitable for you. I think it's one of a very good hero at the moment. I think against Afanos, you need to be a little bit lucky. As soon as Afanos runs Banishing Gate again, I think this hero gets maybe to the B tier. But as long as they don't run the Banishing Gate, in their standard list. I think Basira can shine because you have a lot of forecast units like the Akluts and the Mighty Djinns. You can put the pressure on them. They can't remove it other than sleeping it, and you're in a really good spot that way. I think Basira is very good call to battle the meta at the moment. Then we got Teja. I think Teja is really good at the moment in being winning against the little bit more aggressive strategies. Do all the anchors you can put on stats that are not easily beaten by the aggro ones. As soon as you got a Spindle Bastion in, it's even harder to remove your stats as well. Alphanas and the Ordis heroes still can use Alliance's Withdrawal and remove your Bastion, and then it's probably a 3 mana or a 2 mana spell that removes it from your side. But then again, I think the hero is very strong at the moment against everything that wants to go fast. Muna also got insane uniques, so if you have some anchoring uniques and make sure your stuff keeps getting anchored, I think it is in a strong position. But also, if you don't have those uniques, it's still very strong with the basic Spindle Harvesters, the Shrooms, Aloe Veras, giving you so much advantage with being there for 2 days, the boost, the resupplies. I think it's still very good to bring in the current one. And lastly, we got Lindiwe. I think she had some popularity rise in set 2, but due to again Lightning's Withdrawal, her Baba Ishbash can be removed very easily, and that is one of the key cards she has. Also, the Moth Lantern is also a permanent that can be removed, and I think she's that way a little bit less strong in this current meta, only because of that card. I think she can still put on the stats to win a lot of the other heroes, so you need still to make sure you go fast. And I wonder what will happen to her as soon as the Jellyfish will get unsuspended. I think that way she will get the card advantage needed. I think that way she will get her engine a little bit more going with those kind of uniques, and then she might be able to climb a little bit higher on this tier. So that's it for me. I think this is my current tier list on the heroes available. I think in a month or so we have the mid-season patch, and I'm wondering what will happen to some of these heroes, or maybe some of the cards that they have put out here, to see if the meta gets changed up. Overall, I'm very happy with the current meta. I think every faction has at least a playable hero in S or A tier. I think that is very well designed. We saw some of the biggest diverse metas in Lille, and also a little bit in the Dutch Championship, being with a lot of different heroes in the top 32. I think the game is a great state. Maybe Alphanas is a little too strong, but overall I'm really happy with the current meta. Thank you for watching this meta update. Please leave a comment below to let me know what you think about the list. What would you have done differently, and which picks do you agree on? If you like this video and want to help me out, subscribe to the channel. This way you can have my newest videos as quickly as possible. I am the Bravos Hatter, and I hope to see you again soon.